What's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Game Day with Trey. Of course, this is your host, Trey, and today we're going to talk about this NFL Sunday afternoon matchup between the Baltimore Ravens visiting the Cleveland Browns. All right, so this game will be played 1 p.m. East Coast time. The line is set at Baltimore by 9. Over-under is at 45.5. Some places you can see them at 46, and you can also see Baltimore minus 8.5 or minus 8 in some places, man. But let's go ahead, let's take a look at this game real quick and talk about these two teams, right? So first thing you got to understand with these two teams is that the Cleveland Browns are only 1-6 this season after they lost to the Cincinnati Bengals by a score of 21-14 in their last game. Cleveland trailed 7-6 at halftime, but they allowed 14 points in the second quarter for the loss. The Browns outgained Cincinnati by a total of 336 to 223 yards, lost the turnover battle 2-0, and went 8-19 on third down in the game. DTR threw for 82 yards, 11 completions, while Cedric Tillman, he caught 8 of those passes for 81 yards in the game. Cleveland also has losses against Dallas, Vegas, Washington, Philly, and the Giants. But they do have that one win against Jacksonville in the second game of the year, right? So you can hang your hat on that. Now, the Cleveland offense has scored only 15.6 points per game, and they only getting 159.6 passing yards a game, and only 94.3 rushing yards a game. While the defense is allowing 23.1 points a game, and the Browns have gone 23.7% on third down, 11-18 on fourth so far this season, man. They are horrible. And now that they got Deshaun Watson gone and they can finally move on, they might actually be a little better. It's crazy to say that, right? Now, when you're looking at their injury report, right, so you got to understand that when you're talking about Cleveland, okay, Cleveland is they're a mass unit, all right. Conklin, we know he's injured with the knee, okay. He'll be out there though. DTR will be back with his finger. Don't know if it'll be him or Jameis out there. Jerry Jeudy, he's injured with his knee. You know, Jedrick Willis, he's still out with the knee. A lot of people out on Cleveland, just either out or injured. They might play, they might not. I don't know if I would suit up if I were. You paying me, I guess I suit up, but I don't know, man. So when we talking about Baltimore, man, we got to look at the other side of this, man. Let's look at Baltimore real quick. So Baltimore Ravens, right? They 5-2 this year. They defeated the Tampa Bay Buccaneers by a score of 41-13 in their last game. Baltimore trailed 10-0 in the second quarter, but they scored the next 34 points to pull away for the win. Now, the Ravens outgained Tampa Bay by a total of 508 to 481. Won the turnover battle 2-1, and they went 3 of 8 on third down in the game. Lamar Jackson threw for 281 yards and 5 touchdowns, while Derrick Henry, he rushed for 169 yards on the game on 15 carries. Baltimore has also defeated Dallas, Buffalo, Cincinnati, and Washington. But they did lose their first 2 games to Kansas City and Vegas. So you always got to remember that, right? Now, Baltimore's offense has scored 31.1 points per game, with 250.6 passing yards and 210.9 rushing yards per game, while the defense has allowed 25.7 points per game this season. So Baltimore's only have gone 50% on third down, 4 or 5 on fourth down through 7 games. And Lamar Jackson, he's completed 68.2% of his passes for 1,810 yards, 15 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. While Derrick Henry, man, he's only rushed for 873 yards and 8 scores, man. You know what I mean? Like, these things these are really MVP numbers that both of these players are putting up right now, man. And you got to respect that. You got to understand that, man. All right, so looking at these two teams, right, you got to understand, like I already told you, Baltimore's got the number 1 offense, and Cleveland's defense is 18th in the NFL. But Cleveland's offense is 29th in the NFL, man. With that 15.6 points they're scoring, they're not doing nothing. Okay, and Baltimore, they're giving up 25.7. They ain't looking good, but they're looking great against the rush. Okay, against the run, Baltimore defense is number 1 in the NFL, right? They only give up 3.3 yards per run, and Cleveland's only getting 4.2. They're 20th in the NFL, man. So they're and as far as yards a game, they're the 28th worst in the NFL, man. They only get 94.3. So to think that they might only get less than 68.4 or 68.4 yards that Baltimore gives up wouldn't be a stretch, right? And we all know that Baltimore can run the ball. They're the number one running team in the NFL. They get 6.2 yards per game, per rush, and per game they rush for 210.9, like I told you, right? Cleveland's defense against the run is middle of the pack, man. They give up 126 yards a game, 4.4 yards a rush. 1.1 touchdowns a game, guys. So we all know what's going to happen there, right? Can they pass the ball? Can Cleveland pass the ball? Well, no. They are the 32nd worst passing offense in the NFL, getting 5.2 yards per pass. Now, they could get some help with Baltimore only being the 30th worst in the NFL as far as passing defense, giving up 8.1. But at the end of the day, man, with the carousel quarterbacks that they've been running through and the fact that they just don't understand what they're doing over there as far as catching the ball and throwing the ball, I don't see much of a window or much of a path for Cleveland, outside of the fact that we all know Cleveland is Cleveland. And when Cleveland plays Baltimore, man, they bite them. You know what I'm saying? Like kneecap biters, you know what I'm saying? So, but let's talk about these last three games. The last three games, Baltimore have put up 37.3 points a game, but they're giving up 30.7. So that defense is leaking. But it's only leaking against teams that can pass the ball. You got to be able to pass the ball. If you only running, it ain't going to work. And Cleveland, the last three games, only scoring 14.3, and they giving up 25, man. That puts it at on average, it's 39 points in their games versus 60 points in Baltimore's games in these last three games, man. You try to figure that out. All right? You try to figure that out. Now, at home, they average a total of 40 points because Cleveland gets 15.3 points and they give up 25 points, man. So that comes up to about 40 points. Whereas Baltimore, they stay at that 32-30. Right, so we all know what's going on there. Okay, now looking at these last 10 times, or actually, hold up, let's look at the situational, right? So situationally, these two teams on the season, we all know Cleveland's 1-6, Baltimore's 5-2. Cleveland is yet to win a game at home, and they've yet to cover a game at home. They are 0-3 both ways, all right? And at home, they also are 1 to the over and 2 to the under, whereas Baltimore on the road, they're 3-1 straight up. They're 3-1 against the spread, and they're 4 to the over. So everything goes over for Baltimore when they're on the road, man. And I'm just going to say it, man. There's not too much more to talk about this besides this, right? So the last 10 times this team's been out here, Baltimore is 6-4 against straight up, 5-4-1 against the spread, and 6 to the over, 3 to the under, but 1 push. That's going back to last season. Then when you look at Cleveland in the last 10 games going back to last season, they're 2-8 straight up, 3-7 against the spread, and 5 to the over, 5 to the under, right? The highest amount of points they scored this year was that 18 points against Jacksonville when they beat Jacksonville, and that's not impressive, right? And then head-to-head, Baltimore runs this 6-4 straight up, 6-4 against the spread, and 4 to the over, 6 to the under in the last 10 times playing. But in the last 4 times playing, Cleveland has covered 3 of the last 4 times, man. And the last time the spread this large was covered goes way back to 2020, 2019. In 2020, Baltimore covered a 7-point spread in Baltimore. They won 36-6. And then in 2019, December 22nd, in Cleveland, they won 31-15. And they covered a 10-point spread. Game went under 49. All right, so when you're looking at these two teams, you got to understand the trends, right? So trends for these teams, the Baltimore Ravens have hit the fourth quarter game total over in 14 of their last 19 games. The Cleveland Browns have hit the first half game total over in 15 of their last 22 games. And the Baltimore Ravens have hit the second half money line in 8 of their last 9 games. Now, the Cleveland Browns have scored 4 of their last 5 games at home. They've scored last, guys. You know what I mean? The Cleveland Browns have also hit the team total under in 5 of their last 8 games at home, and the Cleveland Browns have hit the first quarter game total over in 12 of their last 22 games. Whereas Baltimore, man, they've scored last in 5 of their last 6 games, and the Baltimore Ravens have covered the first half spread in 15 of their last 22 games, guys. Baltimore's also hit the team total over in 14 of their last 20 games. And Cleveland Browns, they've hit the third quarter game total over in 12 of their last 19 games, man. All right, so, man, the Browns have won 7 of their last 8 games at Huntington Bank Field against teams that held a winning record. The Ravens have also lost each of their last 4 previous Week 8 games against AFC North opponents. The Browns have also covered the spread in each of their last 6 games as underdogs following a home loss. The Ravens have failed to cover the spread in 12 of their last 15 October games against AFC North opponents, and the Browns have won the first quarter in 3 of their last 4 Sunday games against teams that held a winning record. The home team has won the first half in 5 of the last 6 games between these two teams, and the Browns have scored the first touchdown in 16 of their last 18 home games against AFC North opponents, man. Each of the Ravens' last 7 games as road favorites have gone under the total. All right, and each of the Browns' last 5 home games against AFC North opponents have also gone under. And then 9 of the last 12 Sunday games at Huntington Bank Field have also gone under the total points line, guys. All right, so Baltimore's rolling in this game on a 5-game win streak. They scored 30 points in 4 straight games. Ravens look awesome, right? But their defense, it's a sieve when it comes to stopping the pass. Okay, it's a sieve. Cleveland, they've lost 5 games in a row. They've all been close. All right, the Bengals and the Eagles in their last 2 games. The Browns will have Jameis Winston under center, who will be better than Deshaun Watson. So I'm interested to see how this one plays out, right? So what I am going to tell you is this, okay? I like the under the 45, and I also like Baltimore to score more than the 26.5. I believe in order for the Browns to cover this one, I think they're going to have to score some more points, man. I think that Baltimore is going to beat them up running the ball. I think Cleveland can't stop the run good enough, and I think that's going to be the problem in this game, man. I honestly feel like this is like a 2020-2019 game where it's going to be that 31-10 or something like that, 31-6, guys. All right, but I don't know, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Have a blessed day, stay safe, and I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.